Hey, I'm Kennedy Wings here with Jeff Davis, baseball coach, Glass. Coach Glass, thank you so much for coming and talking to me today.
Thank you.
And obviously, y'all have had an incredible run here at Jeff Davis, having 3 state championship appearances, winning 2 of them, and multiple playoff tournaments. What's really the key to getting to that elite level and staying there, which is much harder than just getting there?
Well, I don't know. I think the biggest thing is you got to get buy-in with your players and your coaches and everybody involved in your program. They got to buy in to the practice schedules, the off-season stuff, the in-season stuff, all the things around playing. And when they buy into that and they commit to it, it's like it's investing.
Yeah.
And if you invest into a certain stock and you put everything into it, when it works out, it's great. When it doesn't work out, you're a little bit devastated. And sometimes people don't want to invest because they don't want to feel the hurt when it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
So to get guys to buy in and invest into the program, no matter what, that's a big hump to get over. And I think once we got everybody buying in and kind of, investing in everything, all parts of it, then I think that kind of opened up a few doors.
Right, absolutely. Well, everyone knows you as the coach, but who was Paul Glass the player?
Oh boy. Well, high school was a little. I went to Jacksonville High School in Jacksonville, Alabama. We had a really good team through my high school years. We played in the state semifinals my sophomore year. And got beat in the Elite Eight in my senior year. And I played with some really good players over the course of my high school career. But I didn't really play in I hate to say this, but it's the facts. I didn't play in a great program. We had good players. For example, my sophomore year, our left fielder was a quarterback at Western Kentucky. Our catcher signed with Jacksonville State. Our first baseman signed with Wallace Adobe. We had just guys all over the place. But we just didn't really play in a great program. So, and I was a center fielder, always an outfielder, leadoff hitter, and was fortunate enough to get an opportunity at Jacksonville State. And when I got to Jacksonville State, that was a big shock to me because now I went from a not so great program to a unreal program.
Right.
And that was a little bit of shock and awe because I wasn't sure, what in the world is all this, And it opened up a whole new world of baseball to me because there was things that we did at Jacksonville State that were common to in a normal baseball program that I was just, it just blew my mind. And Coach Abbott told me I redshirted because I was mentally so far behind when it comes just to baseball, just savvy and awareness and stuff like that. So going from an okay program in high school to below average to just a national unreal program at Jacksonville State was good for me, but it also showed me the importance of being in a good program.
Right.
So, but as a player, I was okay. I wasn't great. When at Jacksonville State, I was on some good teams, but I tell our team, our guys all the time, we had All-Americans all over the place. Guys got drafted, some big league players. And it was all I could do to maybe scratch a little bit of time on the field. I was a courtesy runner, and I was a spot outfielder here and there. My arm developed. They tried to make me a relief pitcher, and that worked a little bit, not great. So I just kind of was there. But being able to be in a program and learn so much from Coach Abbott and his staff was huge.
So Coach Abbott is really who kind of influenced the way that you coach now?
Oh, yeah. Well, and I say this, and this may be a little bit bad, but I got a photo in my office of some coaches that I played for in high school. And it's because I want to make sure that we don't run our program like that program.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But Coach Abbott really started forming my idea of what winning baseball is. And then from there, going on and working after college and working at Wayne County under Jay Brinson, who was an all-state baseball player at Wayne County, and being around some of those guys, Robert Townsend, Scott Brown, and some of those baseball guys. And then when I got here at Jeff Davis, some of the coaches that were influences for me, Jay Brinson, of course, Greg James at Vidalia, Hank Aldridge at Swainsboro. We just try to model what when they were successful, we model some things here about what they did. And baseball coaches tell you all the time they steal ideas from everybody, and that's what we do.
Yeah. So you have just been inducted into the Georgia Dugout Hall of Fame, which is a huge accomplishment. So congratulations
Well,
on that.
thank you.
But what does that really mean, like personally, to you?
Well, I tell you, and people, I don't know. This is I look at the list when I was called and told. The first thing I thought of was every year we go to that clinic, and they have a big plaque that's got a plate of everybody's name. And I'm thinking of some of those names like Harvey Cochran, you know, and I can remember thinking my first clinic or two, this guy's like the godfather of high school baseball in Georgia. And I remember thinking when they told me that, I'm like, so I'm going to be on that board with those guys. There ain't no way that I belong on there with Julian Mock and Harvey Cochran and Don Core and Danny Redshaw, and just the list goes on and on and on. And I'm thinking, man, there ain't no way. So it's humbling. I mean, I'm very grateful, but I also feel like, you know, I haven't done enough yet. You know, or we haven't done enough. I shouldn't say I. We haven't done enough here to be in that category with those guys. So it's a humbling honor.
Absolutely.
And you know, when people ask me about it, I think back to years and years ago. Somebody told me to watch Roger Staubach's his Heisman Trophy speech, and one thing he said was he wished that he could take a piece of that trophy and cut it off and give it to everybody that has influenced him. And you kind of think about, okay, yeah, but now when something like this happens to you, that really kind of hits home as to what he meant by that. Because there's so many hands in an award like this, and so many people influence you that are not just in baseball, but, you know, brothers and moms and dads and friends and colleagues and players. And I mean, shoot, there's so many moving parts. So many.
So the last question, but maybe the most important. If you know anything about Jeff Davis baseball, you know that their field is game ready every single day. Why is it so important to you to keep such a pristine field?
Well, I guess you could say it's an obsession. It's a little bit of, I enjoy it. So when you enjoy doing something, you know, it's really not work. But in the back of my mind, I always wonder and think, like we're about to approach the fall season right now. And whenever teams come to Jeff Davis to play, like softball teams and football teams and cross country or whatever, I was thinking one day, you know, there's going to be a school bus that rides by that field on their way to a JV football game. And maybe there's a guy on that bus that's going to play baseball. And he looks out at our field and he says, oh boy, that's going to be a bad day when we come here and play in baseball. So, and if you get a little bit of a mental advantage like that, I mean, that, who knows, that may be what you know, that may be your only way to win that game against that team. So, you know, it's a little bit of that, but it's a little bit of a pride, and I want our players to appreciate and to be grateful for what they have, because it's not mine, it's our program, and it's their field. And I just think that it's one of those things where, you know, if you look good, you play good. And if you're on a nice field, you know, you should play a little bit better. And, you know, sometimes we go to places and the fields are not great, and they kind of play down to it sometimes. So, you know, but it is something I really enjoy doing, and it's something that we can kind of brag about. And, you know, when another team comes here to play us, when they walk through the gates, we had a dugout club president years ago that would sit at the ticket booth when teams would get here. He just wanted to hear any comments that were made as they walked through, and he would come and tell me. He said, man, we might have a good shot today because there were some comments made about the field or whatever, you know. Awesome. So, you know, you may have a little bit of a mental advantage when they walk through the gate. And if they walk through and see not so great, then they may think, well, they don't really care about this program. We got these guys. So I don't want them to feel that way when they walk through the gate. Now, when they get on the field and play us, they may, you know what I'm saying. But anyway, you need every advantage you can get. So maybe that's one that we might have every once in a while.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak today, and thank you for joining into the first episode.